Big changes are coming for US travelers in 2025, and if you're not ready, the TSA will not let you through airport security. Starting May 7th, a new policy is kicking in that affects every single US citizen that wants to fly. And if you show up without a specific type of identification, you're not getting on the plane. It's called a real ID, and in this very short video, I'm breaking down what a real ID is, how to know if you have one or not, exactly how to get one, and some helpful tips and alternatives in case you miss the deadline. Okay, so what is a real ID? A real ID is a federally approved ID designed to prevent fraud and confirm your identity for things like commercial air travel. The Real ID Act was passed way back in 2005, but it's taken forever to roll out because bureaucracy. 2 decades later, the deadline is finally here. So if you're over 18 years old and you're planning to fly commercial within the US, starting May 7th, 2025, you need a real ID. Now, before rushing to update, you may already be compliant, so let's check that first. This is really simple to do. You're gonna look in the upper right-hand corner of your driver's license or state-issued ID. If you see a star, usually gold or black, you're good to go. Some Californians will see a gold bear with a star cut out. That's good too. If you're from New York or Michigan and you have an enhanced driver's license, even if it doesn't have a star, that will work as well. But if you don't have a real ID, you can also still fly with a US passport or passport card, a trusted traveler card like Global Entry, or a US military ID. But if you head to the airport and you don't have any of these, beginning May 7th, the TSA will turn you away. To upgrade to a real ID, visit your local DMV and bring proof of identity, like a birth certificate or valid passport, proof of social security number, like a social security card, W-2, or pay stub, 2 documents proving your address, for example, a utility bill or a rental agreement, and proof of lawful status in the USA. Now check your DMV for details. Some states require extra documents, and the timing it takes to get your ID also varies dramatically, so apply as early as possible before your next flight. There's a bunch of myths and misconceptions floating around out there about the Real ID, so let's clear a few things up. First and foremost, a Real ID is not a replacement for your passport. For all international travel, you're still gonna need a passport. As long as it hasn't expired, your current driver's license is still valid for driving. It's just not gonna be valid for flights originating in the US after the effective date. What about international travelers flying through the USA? If you're an international traveler connecting in the US, this info does not apply to you, and your passport is already good enough for the TSA. Now, if you're a non-US citizen living in the US, check your state's requirements because you can also likely get a real ID, but there are going to be some specific instructions and maybe some additional paperwork. Don't get caught off guard. May 7th, 2025 is gonna be here before you know it, and the last thing you want is to be turned away by the TSA because of a simple ID issue. So do yourself a favor. 1, check your ID today and look for the star. 2, if you need a real ID, get to the DMV as soon as possible and don't wait till May 6th, okay? Lastly, if this video was helpful to you, please share it with other travelers to help them avoid last-minute airport drama. This is just one of several big changes affecting travelers this year, and if you're not aware of some of the others, be sure to check out this next video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy travels.